Hello and welcome. If you'd like to subscribe below and like the video, thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to do a demonstration of card by a stamp by Kim Moody. Now these come from a set of stamps. Obviously I'm going to do the lighthouse, but the others in the series, you've got a little fishing boat, you've got like a coastal house, and you've got beach huts, all like quirky, cartoony, but what's interesting is that they're good for mail cards. So if you get stuck from mail cards, these are the ones are really good, and that's the one I'm using today with the quirky lighthouse. And as you can see, you've got clouds as well and a little seagull, and this, as I showed you earlier, is the finished card. So now the interesting thing, what I've done here, I've challenged myself to use one colour. So obviously I've just chosen greys because that's a nice male colour, I suppose. So that's what I went for, just challenge myself, use one colour. So I've used different greys. Now what I've done is I've used a Memento London Fog, Distress Ink Hickory Smoke, and pro markers in various shades of grey. So let's go to it. So obviously we're going to start by stamping the stamp first. So get your stamp, and one stamping platform, don't lose a seagull. And what I've done is it's basically A4, and along the short long edge I've cut it down to 10 centimeters, and I've still kept the full width of the A4. So one stamp, move that over a bit I think, and bring the lid over, make sure it's on the other side, bring it back, and then just gently, as we've done before, ink up the stamp, with the London Fog by Memento, and bring it over, press down firmly, and hopefully you'll get a nice clean crisp image like that. And this is a good thing about chocolate Barouque stamps, they are always, I mean I've had some for years and years and years, and they still stamp as good as when I first bought them. So it just shows the quality of the stamp. So I'm going to bring that back over again and just give it another, and that will just give me a slightly deeper grey, which is what I want. So put that to one side, clean stamp. Always get into the habit of cleaning your stamp. It's something I've always done. So yeah, and then when you come to use it again, you know you're good to go. It's, you know, it's clean. Put these out of the way because we won't be using those. And put that back on my little sheet. As I said yesterday, yeah, I laminate all my little cards, and then the stamps stick quite nicely to them. So what I'm going to do now is just do a little bit of tearing and rough up the edges a little bit. So here we go, just like that, nothing technical or difficult about it. Just lift up the corner with your nails and just, oh, that was a bit, and just tear it down, and you've got a nice rough edge. Do the same to the top, same to the top. I just do like torn edges. It just gives that, well, I don't know, it just, it's something different instead of straight edges. And then you can, and when you come to ink it, it brings it out and you can see all the different fibres in the paper. So I quite like that. Let's get rid of that. Right, so what I'm going to do is dive in with my pro markers. And these are greys, obviously. And the nice thing about this set is, and the Biolectra set, they're all greys. And I'm going to start off with the lightest, which is grey 1, cool grey 1. So I'm just going to roughly bring that. Now, obviously with stamp, I'm starting, if you can see, from this edge here. This is where Kim has done the shading, so that's where the edge is. I'm going to start, so you can see where I've already started here, and I'm just going to follow that all the way down. And you know, some of these stamps, you look at them and you think, ah, yeah, that's where I need to colour, and it just makes it so much easier for when you come into colour. Now obviously, because I've used a dye-based ink pad, I can use my alcohol markers, so that means I won't get any risk or chance of bleeding. So if you get confused over or not sure what ink pads to use with what, then the simple rule is think opposites. So because I'm using a solvent-based colouring medium, I'm using a water-based ink pad. Now, if I wanted to go in with if I decided to do this with watercolours, then I would use a waterproof ink pad like a VersaFine, or an archival. See, archival, it says waterproof, so if it says waterproof, obviously you can use your waterproof ink pads for your watercolouring. So I'm going to go in with grade 2, which is slightly darker, and I'm just following that line that I did earlier, just going down, gently down, just following that line all the way down the side of the lighthouse. Now it may look a bit, I don't like that, but we haven't quite finished yet, so a little bit down there, bring that a little bit. Right, so what I'm going to do is dive back in with my first one and just draw these and blend these colours a bit better. There we go. And it just blends them all in very nicely. There we go. And I've just taken off any excess dark colour that I might have on my pen. Cool, might bring that over just slightly. And I'm going to go in with a third grey. I'm not going to go any darker than this, and just right at the very edge of my lighthouse, just right down the very edge, hardly doing anything at all. And again, So once, and then I'm going to go back in with the second one and just draw that darker colour slightly out of it, blending it in with the other greys that I've used. There we go. And then finally back in with the first one and just blend that all nicely in together. So you should end up with a situation where you can't tell where the dark ones and the light ones, I mean obviously I've got it a bit there, but it's absolutely fine. Cool, so there we go. Now what I'm going to do is just highlight a bit of the ground, a bit of the path here. I'm not going to be too precious about it, I just want a bit of distinction between the different elements in the stamp. And again, I'm just going to go in on this number 2, just down the side there, and then on the edge. There we go. And it just defines the different areas of these, like the ground, between the sea, the path. So that's basically what I've done. So what I'm going to do now is put these away. One. Because we won't be using them anymore, so they can go away. Now I've got a nice cloud stencil here, so I'm just going to put in some cloud. So when I get my non-stick craft sheets and some hickory smoke. Actually, I'm going to use this one because I'll keep my pad underneath. So still the same colour, still hickory smoke, and again, as I said at the top of this DVD, I'm just using all greys. So I'm just going to go around the edge of the stencil here and put in some clouds. And you can use the edge of the blender in your clouds, maybe just there, and then a bit down here. Let's a few down here. And obviously try and avoid getting any grey onto the lighthouse if you can possibly help it. And then just a little bit, a hint of one down there. There we go. Cool. And put your hickory smoke away with your little foam disc. Put that back in the tin. That can go away. Now with a big one, and put that back safe. Keep that safe. I'll clean that in a minute. So I'm just going to go around the edge of my card with my distress ink, and it just defines the edge and bring all that tearing done. And one last thing, just to give it a bit more interest, you'll notice that there's a little seagull on this. So I'm just going to stamp a couple of these. It might be worth just to stamp it on a bit of scrap card or paper just to see. Yeah, that's good. A couple of seagulls. We get loads of these down in Plymouth. They're all over the place. Sometimes they've been known to come and take your pasties out your hand and stuff like that. Bit dodgy, but hey ho. One of the pleasures of living by the coast. So that all can go now. So that's what we've got to so far. So we've stamped the lighthouse, we've put some clouds in, and we've coloured the lighthouse with some alcohol markers in greys. Gone around a bit of the edge of where the stamp meets the sea, or you know, the edge of the land meets the sea, just to define it a bit, and the path, and stamped a few seagulls in, and there we go. So what I'm going to do now is just mat and layer this onto some cards. So here we go. A little bit of double-sided. Get rid of that now. And then I'm going to mount this onto a bit of silver card. Again, grey. So I'm just following my theme all the way through. Will that fit on there? No, I'll have to go that way. So I don't know why I've done it that way. I'm just so in the habit of doing it. So that can go roughly about there. Get rid of my little bits, and then a knife, and I usually use about an 1/8 of an inch just to give me that little border around my edge of my piece of work. And again, now you've got the choice or option of either mounting this with foam pads if you so desire, which is what I did with the first one, but on this one I'm just going to mat and layer it onto well, just using double-sided sticky tape. I'm not going to use foam pads this time. So there we go. And then get my A4 or A6 card blank, which I had ready. So I thought, let me just get another one out. There we go. So there we go. So I hope you like what you've seen, and again, please do subscribe to my channel, because I will be doing some more, and then you'll get notified as and when they'll get uploaded, and that will just give me a nice edge and border around my card. And again, you've got plenty of room for your greeting, your sentiment. So there's your finished card. Thank you for watching. Again, please subscribe below and hit the like button, leave any comments, and I will also put a link to where you can buy this stamp from Chocolate Barouque at the bottom. And thank you for watching.